Ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Welcome to yet another edition of BeerAmerica.tv, and I'm a little excited about this one because I've not had it from the Summit Brewing Company. This is called the Horizon Red Ale.
No, we don't do too many red ales either.
No.
And the thing that kind of got my attention about this one is this is from all the way up in Minneapolis, St. Paul.
St. Paul, yep.
Yeah.
And I don't
Yeah,
think
St. Paul, I'm sorry.
St. Paul, yep, actually, St. Paul, Minnesota. Established in 1986.
Yeah. So they've been around for a while.
They've been around for a while, yep.
I actually first became aware of this brewery in 1996 when I was about midterm when I was at the Seattle Institute in Chicago, beer school, as we often call it. A bunch of us flew up to the St. Paul, Minneapolis area so that we could travel south within Minnesota. This is like in February, mind you, to go to
It's warm.
Bachfest. Oh yeah, it's real warm.
Toasty.
In February in
Minnesota.
the middle of Minnesota.
Yeah.
Bachfest is at the August Brewing Company. But on the way back, and well, before and after, we ended up going to Summit, and they make good beers.
Yeah, and
it's kind of like they're not on the radar at all down here, but they've been kind of a big deal up there for a while.
And I've seen them before on the shelves. I didn't know anything about them, so I didn't. I've never had them before. And then when you and I were shopping for beers, you said, "Oh yeah, we got to do this one." So I'm glad. And I'm a big fan of red beers anyway because they're malty.
And this one's very malty.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Ooh, that's yummy.
Yeah.
That's got a nice balance too between the malt and the hops there. It's not over the top hop wise.
Nope.
This is kind of like to me. This is sort of falling in that everyday beer kind of range. Like this is a beer that I would have in my fridge, sort of thing.
They call it a traditional IPA and Amber, like crossing of styles.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's the thing
Like
about
a good hop note on this is an aftertaste.
Yeah, it's not just like hop squeezins like a lot of IPAs are in terms of the hop aroma or whatever. But that's probably a good way to think about it because red ales are distinctive in their sort of caramelly malt character. And so I guess what makes them distinct from say a pale ale or amber ale has always been a little bit ambiguous to me. I mean, even though there are some descriptive terms there, but you know, the red ales and the amber ales, malty, not necessarily over the top hop wise,
Sure.
but red ales can definitely have a hop note there. And this one
does.
Yeah, it's nice.
And it's a nice balance actually, and balance, as we always say, is a really important thing and really hard to do, right? I mean,
I wouldn't say it's that hard to do, but I think it's often overlooked as being an important quality. To me, balance is. I'm all about the balance.
right. This could be a potentially a stupid question, but I'm gonna throw it out there anyway. Would poor like a shipping techniques, or would it throw a balance off of a beer? Like say we got a beer that's not really packaged well, or it's old or outdated. Does the balance then go off, or is that something? Am I overthinking it a little bit? Is it balanced because it's
not
fresher?
Entirely. I mean, there's a handful of things that can come into play when you start dealing with shelf stability issues. If a beer continues to ferment for whatever reason, whether there's some wild yeast or there's still yeast present from the brewing process or even bacteria, beer spoiling bacteria, fermentation can actually continue, which is going to dry it up, certainly further than they wanted it originally. And then that can throw the balance out because you have less sugar to support whatever hops that are there, even if it's a fairly low hopped beer. But there's also, you have staling issues. Sometimes the staling issues can manifest themselves as being sort of a tannic quality, which is not the same as bitterness, but it definitely has an impact on how it feels in your mouth. So it's probably goes beyond the breadth of our conversation here, but shipping and handling and how you get the beer in the package makes a lot of difference.
It says it's brewed with an exceptional American hops. Are there a lot of hop varieties in America? Are there? We used to be.
I would say so. Yeah, we have a lot of varieties. I mean, the United States grows most of the varieties that you would find in Europe. We grow the Hallertaus and the Saats and the various English hops, they don't taste anything like they do when they're grown in their native soils, even if they're the same strain, which is pretty interesting in and of itself. But we also have a lot of varieties that have been created in the United States through the USDA growing program. All these varieties that we have become familiar with, with Cascades and Centennials and Amarillos, and there's all these new hops that keep coming up. I mean, they're constantly developing new strains that are giving us all these interesting flavors.
Well, this is very nice.
This one is featuring, I think, a hop called Horizon. Is that right?
Actually, the hop varieties Amarillo and Cascade.
Amarillo.
A blend. I'm sorry, aromatic blend of Horizon, Amarillo, and Cascade hops.
Horizon.
Horizon.
Horizon is a hop I have not used.
Okay.
So, might have to pull that one out.
Yeah, Horizon Red Ale. There you go. What does this keep knocking on my leg?
Oh yeah, that's right. We were talking earlier about these great posters you've got hanging out here at Studio 121.
It's a circus here, so this is what we.
Yeah. I don't want to sound like a beer geek or anything, but I like unicorns.
But you know what? You can take that back to Georgia with you. That's a parting gift.
That's right.
There you go.
Oh, hopefully I can take that on the plane with me.
Yeah, there you go. Then you might get frisked for that. You take that on the plane with you, you might get frisked.
You might fondled.
You might get fondled. Yes.
Sweet.
Yeah, there you go. So there you go. On that note.
Sorry, Summit.
Summit Brewing Company Horizon Red Ale. Very good. First Summit beer for me. Paul at beeramerica.tv.
Pink at beeramerica.tv.
Cheers. Ding, ding. All right.
That's solid.